Our bodies might not be the most beautiful. In the myths, the soul is that of an enlightened man. We cannot see on a man which state of consciousness he lives. Ravens are clumsy on ground, but a better flyer in air cannot be found, free in the sky of consciousness. 30th skræða, Huginn Muninn Valhöll Einherjar. From Svriti, Mimir, memory, comes hljóð heimdallar samt hrúti. Surti Smriti is connected. Hér hljóð heimdallar fólkið. Muni, jókin. Dofna þá dáðir, detta hendur, svífur af svimi, sverð á skvíta. Rennir örvið ríjar glíu, sefa sveiflum sókn gjörva allri. Now we shall compare this to Bhagavad Gita, as this is really interesting. Kripaya paraya visto vishitan idam abravit. Arjuna uvacha, Arjun the silvery, aus kviti. Arjun, dristveman svartenam Krishna, yujutum sam upastitam. Sitanti mamagatrani, fallast hendur, mukamja parishushati. Vebhatur cha sharirime romaharshashyat jayate. Gandivam sharamshate hastad, from hand ablativus falls gandiva. Trak chashaiva paridahyate. Nacha saknomi avastatum, brahmtva cha me manaha. Amazing similarities we find. Yokin Muni. As the signs of Ved and heathen heathenry seem to have so many things in common, we should elaborate on bringing it to light. We shall draw attention to an article by Dr. Harald S. Harung, Norwegian, published in the Scientific Journal of Human Values, 1996. We can highlight here how the coming into being of our universe is described in Heiðni and Ved. We know that ekki urðu allir menn jafn spakir, not all men equally sagacious, wise, evolved. That is, that some are more evolved than others when they are born. Veda science and Heiðni know and tell us that we can enliven consciousness higher than the individual consciousness, and know that there exist higher stages of consciousness, higher than sleep, dream, waking, that the crude man only knows of. We also find that we can easily affect the world consciousness to evolutionary direction by transcending soast and nema uppfyllbulrúnir. Its national consciousness is basically the great void. Stage of consciousness of individuals rules, directs trends in society. Both two of these ancient traditions, Heiðni, no doubt younger, seems to be derived from science of Veda, know and explain to us that human consciousness can yoke to universal consciousness by nisa niður, and that yields skill in action, karma sukausalam, and purity. Rids us of sins, impurities, gives us fair winds on our evolutionary path, surpass former actions bad skuld, karma. Men hanga á vingameiði, nýsa niður, falla aftur þaðan, come out again, endowed with experience of closeness to Ginningagap, and the pure knowledge here innate. This brings great joy. Our stage of consciousness gradually gets heightened as we practice, gives power from Tivatun to allow us to perform by thought alone. Samakam yoga uchate, samatva, equanimity of mind, which is the normal state of a man. The only normal, the only worthy, if we can be called human beings. Everything else, disharmony, agitation, is abnormal for man. The simplest pure awareness of man is the sphere of all possibilities. In terms of science, silence, the unified field of total natural law, from which unending creativity potentials come, from where the perfect order in the universe derives. This is the calmest, widest, most powerful sphere of human awareness. Those who know this realm of life and live it gain abilities to work from there. It is all possibilities, realm of countless creation ideas, infinite creative power. Because of all this, men claim Vedic science and Heiðni to be related síðir. Grip Grip are two ravens, siblings, in an ancient tale in Bharata, India, born in grass, pity themselves, Grip Grip, then brought up in the palace of the king. We are born in grass, Jesus laid in hay in the stable, and we end up in Höll Óðins, Jesus ascends to throne in heaven. As we become Huginn Muninn, get enlightened, Jesus enlightened, we now fly in the gladness, unending whiteness of the skies, fully alive, freed from binding influences of material life, live Valhöll. Val, go, come near, hurry, return back home, note not that death in battle. The way to Valhöll is easy, no obstacles, no troubles, fair way. Easy way to Glaðheimar, Pratyavajona Vidyate. Einkum ef iðla tróðin vegurinn, when often trodden the path. No way in itself from me to me. The goal of transcending perpetually is to make a bridge to Valhöll, then life is all joy. We enjoy all gungnir that our now refined senses apport. Now they are not in control, not the door to stress, as mind now is pure. Stimuli are fun, but do not leave a mark. Valhöll awaits us all, but we have to go to the well and fetch water. We have been told where it is. We have been given all there is needed. What the unenlightened call a day is night in the mind of the enlightened man. Even night is a bright day in the mind of the seeing, as darkness is what the seeing call avidya. Avidya, óvit, ósvinna. Ignorance, darkness, is not to see truth, not to perceive truth. Real light to see through avidya, ósvinnuna. Not depending on whether earth turns our side to the sun, day, or the other, night here. That which is night for all beings. Therein the self-controlled is awake, he who transcends gains control. That wherein beings are awake is night, for the sage who sees. The sage is Muni, not necessarily a recluse, but rather a man of calm, far-seeing prudence and wisdom. Sees the truth, Maharshi says. We should have unhindered channel to Ginnungagap in waking and dreaming. We do find a gap always between these low stages. We do not register it. Thinking awake, asleep, REM, dream, the three lowest are not for real. The fourth, transcending, bifrost, bridge to higher stages. Unnourished actions of men not connected to Ginnungagap are not in accordance with the powerful flow, and so not perfectly right. Decisions, reasoning, contemplation on the sphere of actions and thoughts are weak. They do not have the support of Tivatun to back them up with perfection. They are on the sphere of Triguna, Þursameir þrír, qualities of nature. Ignorant men live the three lowest stages of consciousness only, wake, REM, deep sleep. Tivatun is everywhere. Tivar abide in everything, but we do not all live it. Ginnungagap is everywhere, we are it, all is it, nothing other can be. Man's discrimination faculty, our precious attribute, has the innate ability to be in perfect correlation with Tivatun. It should be alive in every man. Man's mind and brain is Ginnungagap. Do we know where from our thought comes? How and where is a thought born? Not all of us are connected. Sea myth broken, no connection. Höft or bund out of order in some of us. Many are asleep, even if they might call it to be awake. Some need to be awakened from their waking to higher understanding. Utistata, Jagrata, Prapya, Varanibodataha. Stand up, wake up, be among the wise and understand the knowledge. Not will suffice to tell men, therefore we learn the technique to do research in consciousness. Technique that leads in the end to enlightenment, leads to dhyana when practiced. Technique that easily gets us to samadhi, leads effortlessly and naturally to nirvana, so we should practice it regularly all our lifespan. Even is the diligent practice. Bragi is what we become thereby. We become seeing poets, skald, kavi, same stem as kvæði. He who sees that avidya, ignorance, is not for real. The ignorant does not see that. Kavya, the skald, poet, who has the ability to see, is such a seer to know that only Ginnungagap is reality. He sees that all in our world is the flow of Muninn Valhöll's life stream from the wells. The technique, the easy unified field technique, TM, learned and used correctly, delicate, mental, effective, simple, natural. Nothing is more natural to mind than to plunge into pure consciousness. Completely automatic. The rest takes care of itself, naturally. The only thing we do is to start the technique correctly and then let it go. We learn that thoughts are stress release. Made-up behavior trying to look pious is nothing, pitiful at the best. It doesn't suffice either to listen to the enlightened one talk about his enlightenment. We need this sweet little technique. Every man sjálfur leiðir sjálfan sig, leads himself. Once we are born, endowed with a human nervous system, the responsibility is ours. The TM technique, the unified field technique, is the best we can own in life. To begin with, the fourth stage, glaðheimar, does not last endlessly throughout the day. We nýsumst niður, thoughts fade away, then föllum við aftur þaðan, fall from there, because accumulated stress gets released in the calm and teases sleipnir. Kshanika dhyana, occasional dhyana, transcending, nýsast niður and live glaðheimar in a while, not lasting. We have heard men talked about peaks, these pure moments that come out of the blue, or peak moments, all beautiful and peaceful, we wide awake. Some think that only some reach them, not anyone, and only sometimes. But all men can live at all time on such peaks. Peak moments become peak life. The stage of consciousness of man is the criterion on if pure consciousness or the matter world dominates his mind, his life. Every man can effortlessly heighten his stage of consciousness. According to Rígur, not all men live the same stage of consciousness. Knowledge means different things in the minds of men. As some might see skáldfíbla hlutur as the supreme knowledge, the useless share of the meat of wisdom that Odin could not get into Ásgarður, while another man calls that for ósvinna, ignorance. Yet another some baseless learning. Someone refers to his academy degrees. We might also hear this endless jargon talk about the so-called spiritual matters, because it is the purity or impurity of each man that colors or gives a flavor to his private world. Valhöll will feel funny as we start to see ourselves as apart from the world, aloof from our things around, even from our own body. It is good to know what are the first signs of enlightenment that will come when we transcend nísa niður regularly. Might not be necessary to talk to a psychiatrist, as they might not know what enlightenment is and seriously test your mental health and provide pills. Beware of pretending, imagining, make mood of being freed, saved from the world. Mood-making can be fetters which retard our purity, numbness and inertness. Real heightening stages are joy and humbleness, love and light, doing good to all. It is so beautiful to watch the world from the windows of Valhöll that we want all men to enjoy that. We teach them how to transcend. Fear and anger has gone away from Muninn, Muni, has left him. Note, impurities and vices have left us, not that we have left the world. Vitaraka krota stida her dear Muni uchate. Muni, Muninn. Val means to go, come near, hasten, also to return home, come back home. This could be the meaning in all Val words in our heritage. We are fully alive. This is our life. Valur as dead in battle might be a misinterpretation. Alive, we find our real home, remember our origin. Val also means a choice. Valur, hawk. Our origin, our core and essence, is not remembered by him who lives not his memory. To remember all is to find mimir, smriti, in the sense remember also who we are. EEG of brain of a man practicing TM shows perfect regularity and correlation. Muninn, Muninn, Huginn, Huginn. We become purer individuals, not so that all will be alike, the same, but our special qualities blossom. Not that we become indifferent to the surroundings, as some are efficient, some calm, and we will go on working in the world by habit when we get enlightened. This is our evolution, always forward, never backwards. The nature of Thund is to swell, the nature of all is to blossom, expand. We should be humble about our heightened states. Arrogance does not belong here. Be careful not to worship a man, only learn from the wise and revere them. And always, sjálfur leið þú sjálfan þig, thou self lead thyself. Never pretending or mood-making. And don't let faked appearance deceive you. We cannot see on a man which stage of consciousness he lives. Skadi is our focused resolve and willpower. Valhöll is heaven on earth for us men fully alive. In Hávamál, Vísa 138 and on, we have the description of transcending and the benefits thereof, how we gain skill in action and a smooth life flow. Here is listed the good that comes by sóast, hnýsast niður, fimbulrúnir, galdrar góðir, and the powerful ljóð. Ljóð is a poem, hljóð is a sound. Karma su kausalam is the skill in action. Functions perfectly. When we live Valhöll, then we can use the ljóð and galdrar góðir effortlessly, using a subtle thought or desire alone, as nature carries this out. Loddfánir, if he doesn't know by his own experience the sphere on which Tívar dwell, cannot make any use of learning by heart or reading books, get info. But he who knows Tívatún, Ragnasjöt, by his own very being, is connected to reality, the truth, Ginnungagap, and lives all understanding. Rúnatal and ljóðin in Hávamál, the great knowledge about evolving to perfection and about higher stages of life, is understood by the pure and those who are about to reach Valhöll. Jnanakanda is the chapter of knowledge, the third and last part. Hávamál here in 3 parts according to stages of evolution of the listeners. See also 3 categories of men according to Rígur. Not all men understand. We assume a grown-up understands more than a bairn. Not always is that so. Einherjar understands better than an unenlightened man. We expand the limitless up. We understand the stages through which we have gone. not those which we have yet to reach. Perhaps we do not even know that they exist. A man who lives ósvinna, ignorance, knows no other than that, but might see that he is a bit better evolved than the animals. Skáldsvífla hlutur means belief in the letter and lack of deep understanding. This is all about the understanding of him who receives. That which Odin reaches, we gain in our inner cave in Nidbjörg. When we practice, we get better and better. Diligence can get us far. Idun stands for doing program regularly, and that is the way to perfection. Síðhattar markmið, the goal of síðhöttur. Síðhöttur, siddhartha, siddhi, perfection, excellence. Artha, goal, aim. Many evolved souls that now being born into Satyuga shall understand, even better than the teacher that is teaching us all about the truth. It is the understanding of the one who listens that counts. The world is as we make it. Einherji sees that all is Vín Valhöll's flow, that everyone is ginnungagap, nothing is but that. Even the gungnir flickering here and there is that. Don't start like this when we tell the ósvinni, ignorant man. We do not perform as the þursameir þrír of nature, Triguna, perform all. First we should become pure, teach others how to do it, so actions become better. Einherji leads others by performing good deeds himself. The quality of life and the quality of action of men are of the same quality as he is. Don't reject life. No point in pretending not to enjoy things. Do not pretend. And don't try to fake and claim not to be depending on surroundings. That would only accumulate stress, can become numbness. What is exactly what we want to avoid? We are going to wake up. Wake up from our waking stage. Not to become dull, apathetic. We are going to be more and more alive within. When we become Sauka, the all-seeing in Valhöll, we shall understand all from the roots in the mud to the blossoming flower in the sun. The 7 stages of consciousness, Jagrat, Svapna, Sushupti, Turiya, Tita, Bhagavat Chetana, Brahmi Chetana. Each one of these has a corresponding measurable physical status. Note again, we cannot see on a man which stage of consciousness he lives. Sushupti Avastha or Sushupti Chetana, deep sleep. All put out, thalamus soul not lighting up inner and outer, as Gyðjan Mikla, the great goddess, is supposed to do, the lamp at the door. Man in deep sleep does not register anything. Svapna Avastha or Svapna Chetana, dreaming, rapid eye movements. Svapn is Icelandic svepn, Chet Icelandic geth. Sleeping, apart from mind being busy in some old information and accumulated effects, making out of them a pseudo-reality, we do not connect to our limbs, so we lie still. The light is not on. The man is in his dream world. We hear sounds and use them in our dreams and feel some stimuli biased, like a ghost of real life. REM, rapid eye movement, as we see the eyes moving under the closed eyelids. The stages of consciousness are clearly distinct one from the other. Maharishi explains, smiling. For example, if we have a dream about a tiger chasing us, and we run as fast as we can, wake up in panic, run to get the rifle, where then is the tiger? Jagrat Avastha, Jagrat Chetana, waking state of an unenlightened man, where we register stimuli from the surroundings, really taking them in, because such a man does not know his origin and innermost core to be Atma. The dance of the world overshadows reality. Gungnir is all his life. The lamp casts a light outside but not inside. The surroundings seem so real as the senses bring it to the brain, and the brain projects it to the flat screen in its back. The problem is a thick layer of ignorance, not allowing for seeing own consciousness. The effects are colored by the filth, and so seen as an assumed reality, full of prejudices not fully rational. That what he claims to see as real tangible phenomena. In this unenlightened waking state, desires for the future, memories of the past, thoughts are traveling about in the mind. Lot of stress in the nervous system. That darkness within affects how he creates his world. Unfortunately, these 3 unreal stages of consciousness are the only that some know. Those men are drastically not connected to their own consciousness. The small gap in between these 3 lowest is not noticed by them. Prajna aparadaha. The intellect of man makes the mistake to fall out of the normal perpetual cycle of ginnungagap odimilivie. The normal cycle is Ritam Bahara Prajna, swell, evolve, get nourished, make the next. Turiya Avasta eða Turiya Chetana is the fourth, transcending. By using the TM technique, it is reached in a second, plunging into air. That can be measured in the physiology, distinctly different from the other three. When we transcend, no human thought is there, only pure awareness. We experience a gap, emptiness. Being in its presence is joy, a gladheimar. Occasionally we smile for no obvious reason. It is called the samadhi smile. We experience boundless wholeness. There are not little things, not one-on-one topics. Thoughts that come in transcendental meditation are due to stress release, but no deliberate contemplation or thinking or reasoning is there. Mind soest lets go of itself, becomes thought alone, awareness expands to infinity. Do not meddle up with that completely automatic procedure. Men hnýsast niður, by the nature of the mind to seek happiness. Beyond thought, thinking will only interfere and disturb the inward flow. The fourth stage of consciousness, transcendence, cannot be gained by intention or force, in spite of its utter naturalness for all humans. All we need is our nervous system. The lamp shines inside, but not outside, during the fourth, the bridge to higher stages. The transcendence does not last long here, generally. Soon we tend to falla after þaðan, into worldly thoughts again. Xanika, occasionally for a short time, dhyana. Now mind has found out where the greatest joy is to be found. One drop taste of joy. Ganga dhyala lava kani kapita. Our interest for the sphere of life, which the senses cannot bring to the mind, has been tickled. Door to evolution has opened up. But that is exactly the very purpose of man's lifespan. An unenlightened man cannot work from the fourth stage of consciousness, but here he, nonetheless, imbibes fimbulrúnir and stinnastafi, which gradually come in handy in daily life. He has begun to tame his sleipnir for frequent trips and unrestricted communication. Þá vex ekki háu grasi og hrísi leiðin sem iðulega skyldi tróðin. The path does not get covered with weed, as now it is often trodden. TM is man's best friend, many say. Let's visit the Gladheimar, which are the expansion of man's awareness to eternity. Fifth, Turiatita Avasta, eða Turiatita Chetana, Valhöll higher than the fourth. Got there when we have our lamp shining both inside and outside. We now see both outside and inside at the same time. Gideon in us is really working. Here, in this cosmic consciousness, man sees himself as eternal and non-change, watches the world and all her play as if it were from inside, not a part of it. We are this silent witness of all. That is what Sauga stands for, the CRS. Now that filth, stress by another name, has left the nervous system. Man is now enlightened, sees that he is consciousness, sees the world, understands his existence, lives in Valhöll, is an Einherji. A funny feeling to see the world split into two components, into the visible by eyes and its origin. It is good to know that this is not hallucination, it is an open awareness. If we do not know, understand the beginning of enlightenment, we might be worried. We might ask the psychiatrist and the psychologist, who only have old-fashioned fragmented education, so they wouldn't have a clue about what really is going on here. On this fifth stage we find inner strength and stability, nista. Nothing imagined, only happening humbly. Bhagavad Chetana is the sixth stage of consciousness of man. Valhöll, but still more refined than the fifth stage. Maharishi explains it as living universal consciousness in a refined way. The senses are pure and acute, register all in an unpolluted way. All becomes clearer as the pure man sees like Sauga, hears as Heimdallur, has become Bragi, Skald Kavi, the poet who understands and sees and tells others with gentleness how our normal life is. Tells others how abnormal it is to live in ósvinna, ignorance, unenlightened. He also teaches us the handy technique to reach Valhöll TM. Nýrstaha, that is, has stability and a firm ground in existence. Stands firmly in unity, is anchored in the high seas, not dependent on weather and winds in turbulence of life. Perhaps Nýrstaha is our nista eg niður, as a certain past tense has y, not I. As the older guys, our forefathers, use it, it is said to be the past tense of nisa, nisast, nisast, present, to nose, snoop, pry into, nista, past tense. Our stability and security allows for a sound valuation of worldly affluence, fearless, doubtless, as we now see what is truth. 7th, Brahmi Stiti or Brahmi, Chetana, men who live unity, have reached the 7th stage of consciousness. We now don't see just as if the world is aloof from man's consciousness, as now we are one with all, we are all in unity with all. I am all, you are all is I. We cannot but love all. We enjoy the experience of Tivatun, Ragnasjöð, and cosmic consciousness all the time. Whatever we get caught up in, consciousness is always leading. Be it experiencing the battle world, speaking, thinking, acting. His awareness is awake, silence is awake, the silent wakefulness. There are no little things and partiality, which might be critical and significant in the life of the unenlightened. Einherjar sees, of course, little things, a flower, elephant, mountain, solar systems, but the enlightened man identifies all this as the oneness, Ginnungagap. He looks at the flower, enjoys its beauty, sees that it is but flow of knowledge, vín valföðurs, hunangs mjöður, honeymeat, which becomes stem, root, branch, leaf, flower, seed, colors. The flower doesn't overshadow what it in reality is, flow of pure intelligence. The now refined senses bring gungnir, the refined mind sees the wholeness. Outer and inner, the whole of life is his life. The ever-changing and the never-changing is seen together. So a beautiful flower is beautiful and is in essence the oneness. His sight is pure sight. No filth anywhere, no darkness, no fog. Not any maya, the opaque, ósvinna, ignorance. Sense is pure, mind pure, intellect pure, individual consciousness pure consciousness. When we live the 7th stage of consciousness, unity with all, we find Tívar. They remember the laws of nature. Tívar are in everything. Where there is memory, there is movement. Where there is movement, there is hljóð, sound. From mínir, memory, smriti, comes hljóð heimdallar, suruti. Suruti, smriti is closely connected. Here hljóð heimdallar fólkið. Suruti means heard, that which is heard. What we hear is a flow. We call it speaking or language. The sounds, language of Veda, is heard by the pure ones. Nirvikalpa samadhi, everlasting unity, is Jivan Mukti. No heightening of consciousness can be gained by exertion. Exertion ruins it all. This process is natural. Natural to all humans. No obstacles to overcome. Gladness and whiteness of Glaðheimar is at hand, and nothing is more natural than to live it. To bear the name man is to have risen to the skjálf of highest heights. Man's stages of consciousness can be correlated to höfuðskepnurnar, the elements. Here we can learn and understand many things and live the beauty of knowledge. Knowledge is different according to man's understanding and evolution. Knowledge is in our consciousness. Far að finna oft, go often to visit. All comes effortlessly. All in nature is effortless, takes care of itself. The TM technique has to be learned correctly, so we can use it effortlessly. As sleep and waking come naturally in a spontaneous way, so men reach higher stages naturally, effortlessly. It is in the very nature of the mind to seek silence, go home to its Glaðheimar. All we need is to want it, decide the 180 degrees U-turn in the search for happiness. Nature naturally picks the easiest way. A brook tries not to flow up slope, and nature always enjoys the greatest achievements by using least effort. This is the way of the TM technique, automatic if used correctly. A man fully awake in the silent wakefulness of his own awareness. The crude men are concerned with concepts and things, lacking the knowledge about where from thought comes. They might never think about what thoughts are. They might be proud of their intelligence and how smart they are. The enlightened ones know the great light, know where from all is derived. They know what the crude man is missing in life. Every being sees from its stage of evolution. All men should know what awaits us, and know how to accelerate our spiritual evolution, to fulfill the purpose of man's life, the only purpose of our lifespans on earth. All is evolutionary, seeks perfection, and so do we, of course, by our innate nature. Only thing needed, advises Maharishi mankind, is to connect waking states to the 4th stage, nísast niður, using TM, the Unified Field Technique, and and experience the highest knowledge. Knowledge is structured in consciousness and TM suits all men, be they working, be they deeply thinking. Kshanika, now and then for a moment, dhyana, state without thoughts, is the beginning. When man lives the fifth stage, Valhöll, he sees gradually how beautifully the created, in its marvelous way, is a powerful version of the great oneness within all. When human awareness has gotten that far on our path to perfection, matter and energy is seen as beautiful and perfect, fleeting and ever-changing performance on the stage of non-change. In Valhöll, fifth and the sixth stages, we live virtue and the dharma naturally. We understand what life is for. We see the whole picture, the purpose and goal. Once having tasted samadhi, ég gefin sjálfum mér, in oneness, we start living virtue and dharma naturally. We have found the bridges, Bifrost and Billrost, the way to our higher stages. We should know that consciousness never sleeps. It is ever awake and endlessly dynamic silence from which human mind has come to be. What a disaster if consciousness would sleep. What would then happen to our universe? Ragnarök. Not only Ragnarök happening, but real trouble. No, eternity never falls asleep. Online on this PDF we have Hrafnagaldur Óðins and the stemma, way of chanting there too. Hrafnagaldur is one of the Edda poems. Óðrún Dimbla, my teacher Maharishi, Indian physicist, an enlightened man, points out to us where to find the knowledge and the understanding, and he teaches us the technique to transcend. Nisa niður. Best of thanks, Maharishi, my great teacher. We now get to know why we are born, what the purpose and goal of man's its lifespan is. We now fathom the profound beauty of our spiritual heritage. Óðsmál is the key to the abyss of spiritual Edda, ancient Norse heritage, myths and poems, profound science of consciousness, allegory, symbolic language, etymon. We do supreme research in consciousness. All there is abides here, the real scientific age.